Hi.
Hola.
Hi, hier ist Mr. Döse.
This is Michael Bradley.
Hey, I'm Memphis.
Hey.
Hola. Hello.
I'm here with soccer.com.
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 And I'm talking with my friends soccer.com.
See you soon.
Hey guys, Josh from SoccerReviewsForYou.com, bringing you my review plus on-feet video of the brand new Adidas Ace 17.3 Primemesh in the Red Limit Pack colorway. Now, given that this is a takedown model, inside the box, all you get are the shoes themselves. They do not come with any extras. And of course, here is a look at the 17.3 Primemesh. This is the kind of second takedown model, the model below the 17.2 Primemesh. That shoe retails for $130. This guy retails for $50 less at $80 US. With that being said, there are quite a few big differences in comparison to the 17.2 model, and obviously they're a lot different from the top end Ace 17.1 Prime Knit, a shoe that this shoe does look very similar to, I'll give it that, but like I said, the features, the materials, the general quality, and even the fit vary quite a bit from those higher end products. So of course, in today's video, we're gonna take a closer look at all the details, go over the tech specs and performance qualities of the shoe. We'll take a look at the weight, as well as how these things fit and feel on feet. So if you are interested in learning a little bit more, please stick around, watch the entire video. If you're interested in a pair of these for yourself, there'll be a little pop-up on screen, or you can click the first link down below. That'll take you to the review page on my website, where you'll find Buy It Now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes, where you'll be able to pick these up below their normal $80 retail price. So again, if you're interested in a pair, a little pop-up on screen, first link down below, go ahead and check it out. And with that being said, let's get right into the review. To start things off, let's talk tech specs and of course quality, being that this is an $80 takedown model. You have to have somewhat realistic expectations, and I think in comparison to other shoes at this price range, the quality is better than I expected. So the Primemesh aspect of this particular shoe is the black part here at the toe. You can see it's very clearly a mesh-based synthetic. You have a fuse layer on top, some internal layers within the liner as well, and it has a decent amount of softness to it. Visually, and I guess to a certain extent the feel of the shoe reminds me a lot of the agility knit material you'll find on some of the current Messi models from the Adidas brand. Again, a little bit thicker, not quite as premium feeling, but along those lines, which is definitely not a bad thing. From that transition point, you can see it's pretty much just a stitched transition. You're gonna run into this kind of what looks like mesh-based material, and I'm sure there's some layer of mesh in there at some point, but a layered, kind of fairly dense, fairly structured synthetic material that fills in pretty much the rest of the upper. And then you have a neoprene material filling in the middle, and of course extending into what is somewhat of a mid-cut collar. Now, what's different about the 17.3 versus the 17.2 or 17.1 is the fact that this isn't a true one-piece construction. You can see that it's not kind of fusing into this center part. Instead, you have this neoprene material that basically wraps down the sides, cutting off right about here, and then fills in the middle part, basically where a tongue would normally be. And you can see that if I pull it over, you can actually see the gaps there. So that's basically the edge of it. It is slightly elasticated. You do have this kind of fused material running through the middle just to add some kind of structure to it. But for the most part, it does have a similar look to those top-end models, not necessarily the same feel. The fit of the shoe is a little bit quirky, and that's something I'll talk about later during the on-feet portion of the video. But in regards to the material and just overall quality of the upper, it's better than I was expecting. The mid-cut aspect, again, it's a neoprene material. There's really no structure to this, just a little bit to the back heel area. Not something that's going to provide any kind of ankle support or restrict mobility in any way at all. You do have the pull tab here at the back with this nylon strap, an internal plastic heel counter, being that this does not feature a sprint frame construction like you'll find from the higher end models within the Ace line. The inside heel liner is a synthetic suede material with less padding than what you'll find from the higher end models, which not necessarily a bad thing, doesn't feel uncomfortable or anything like that. The insole is fully glued in, so it is a non-removable insole, but that's fairly common at this particular price point, especially from Adidas. And then moving on to the sole plate, it is a standard TPU plastic material, a lot thicker material than what you're going to find from a sprint frame on a 17.1 model, for example. And then of course you do get the FG-AG stud pattern that's consistent with the rest of the Ace line, although on the takedown models the studs are a little bit shorter and you're a little bit lower to the ground because of that. Nonetheless, it is FG-AG and very suitable for use on both firm natural grass as well as artificial grass playing surfaces. On those surfaces, it definitely does get the job done in regards to traction. So that's pretty much it in terms of what you're getting. The only other thing that I guess is worth mentioning about this shoe are these little dots that you're going to find across the red part of the upper. You also have it you have it on the black part as well, although it's very, very minor and kind of difficult to see. But you can see the little dots there, even within the Ace logo. They look like non-stop grip dots, which is Adidas's wet control element. You'll find it on the top end models, and it seems to be on the takedown models within the Ace line as well. Not listed in the tech specs, so bear that in mind. I'm not sure if they are actual non-stop grip dots or just added texturing to the upper, but it is something that's there, although I don't necessarily think it's a make or break feature. Not a very noticeable thing at all. So other than that, for $80, the quality of the shoe is pretty good, but with that said, there's some quirks to the fit, which I'll get to in just a second. In terms of weight, I thought we would compare the 17.3 Prime Mesh to the model above it, which retails for $130, the 17.2 Prime Mesh. So I'm going to weigh both shoes for you today in real time using this scale. Keep in mind these are both in brand new condition and both the exact same size 9 US. So this is a very fair comparison. We'll start off with the 17.2, throw it on the scale, and you can see that they weigh in at 9.6 ounces, the equivalent of 272 grams. Change the scale back to ounces, pull these off, and we'll throw on the 17.3, and you can see that they weigh in at 9 ounces, the equivalent of 255 grams. So they're 0.6 ounces lighter, about half an ounce, which is not overly significant if I'm completely honest. I think the big difference that you're going to notice when you have the 17.3 on feet versus the 17.2 is just the way the shoe fits and feels in general. Even though they're part of the same line, the fit is a fair bit different. I would argue the 17.2 does fit a little bit better and is a more comfortable shoe overall. But if you are looking, I guess, for the lighter of the two options, technically the 17.3 Prime Mesh is a little bit lighter. As far as the overall aesthetics and colorway is concerned, I think that the shoe looks pretty good, again, considering the $80 price point. The red limit pack in general, I think, just does a good job of combining colors that just look good together no matter what. Red, black, and white, to me, always a really good color combination, and you have that on display here with this particular colorway. The black at the toe, the black sole plate, red studs, and then of course red throughout the rest of the upper with the white Adidas stripes. Again, very clean looking shoe. I think the overall shape is something that a lot of people are big fans of as well. And again, overall at $80, I think the shoe doesn't necessarily look cheap, which is a big thing, and it's a pretty decent looking model in general. I'm a big fan of the look of the A17 line, period, not just the 17.3 Prime Mesh. So let me know what you guys think of this down below in the comment section. Do you like how these look? Why or why not? And with that being said, let's move on to the on-feet portion of the video so we can get a better idea as to how these shoes fit, feel, and of course, what the sizing is like. All right, so here is a look at the A17.3 Prime Mesh on feet. On my left foot, I have the stock red laces that come with the shoes, and on my right foot, I have a pair of black and red Crackle SR4U replacement laces. If you're interested in a pair of replacement laces for yourself, the website to go to is www.sr4ulaces.com. There'll be a little pop-up on screen, as well as a link down below in the description that'll take you directly there. So if you're interested in a pair, be sure to go ahead and check that out. Now, if you've watched the video up until this point, I've said some pretty positive things about this shoe at the $80 price point that it comes in at. With that being said, when you put them on, a lot of that changes in that the fit of the shoe isn't the greatest. It's actually a little bit strange, and the comfort level also not the greatest. So what's really unusual, and you probably noticed already just based on how they're laced up, it almost looks like they are too small or too narrow or have really wide feet. I don't have really wide feet. I have pretty average width feet. You guys have probably seen my videos on how most shoes fit me. This is cut really narrow, and it has to do with the upper. The base is the same as what you're gonna get on the 17.2 Prime Mesh, which has a tighter fit, but is definitely not as narrow as these. With this particular shoe, they cut the upper very shallow, so the two parts, or the two sides of the upper, are pretty far apart, and it's just really unusual in terms of how it fits on your foot. It's a very narrow, very, very tight fit that I just don't find all that comfortable, and I think most people will agree with me once they actually try them on. Another thing that bothers me about this shoe is the heel area. There's a lack of padding back there, and it just feels very, very stiff against your heel. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the Pure Control, and that just doesn't seem like there's anything pushing your heel into the base of the shoe to hold it in place. It constantly wants to come out, and that causes a lot of pressure and just general discomfort. That isn't necessarily something that's going to go away. The materials themselves, At least the Primemesh material at the forefoot is decently soft, but everything else about this upper I'm just not crazy about. The quality of the fit's not great, the comfort level's not great, and it's just not something that I would necessarily want to wear, given that I had the opportunity to try them on prior to making my purchase. So that is definitely worth keeping in mind if you are ordering them online or were planning on ordering them online. As far as width is concerned, like I talked about, it's a pretty narrow fit. You're not really gonna get any stretch out of this upper. So if you have wide feet, probably not the best option. And again, it's a fairly narrow fit, so that is worth keeping in mind. And as far as sizing is concerned, I'm wearing my usual size 9 US here. The fit and the length is absolutely perfect. So again, if you are looking to order a pair, they do run true to size, and I would recommend going for your normal size in order to achieve the best possible fit lengthwise. All right, guys, that is it for my review of the Adidas Ace 17.3 Primemesh. If you guys are interested in a pair of these for yourself, you can either click the little eye in the corner of the screen or the first link down below. That'll take you to the review page on my website, or you'll find Buy It Now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes where you'll be able to pick these up below their normal $80 retail price. If you have any questions regarding this shoe, leave them down below in the comments and I definitely will get an answer out to you. If you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful and informative, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all of my social media information linked down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, thanks for watching.